it again, of course, raises this whole question of human rights, and China's poor record on this front continues to draw criticism. The country's communist regime still refuses to publicly acknowledge the part it played in one of the most bloody episodes in its recent history, the brutal crackdown in Tiananmen Square back in 1989. But China has changed profoundly since then. There's no doubt about it. Its gleaming skyscrapers, exclusive shopping malls suggest a country more open and less oppressive. So I've been taking a look at the legacy of those days 19 years ago to see just how much they have helped to shape the modern China and its economic miracle. With military precision, the blood-red flag rises over the place that is the symbolic heart of communist China. Tiananmen Square has seen it all. The nation's triumphs and blood-stained tragedies. Today there's a party mood in the square, as most Chinese look forward to their Olympics with pride and patriotism. Yet once there was a mood of protest here. 19 years ago I witnessed the greatest ever show of dissent against the state. A student-led uprising of people power, 1 million strong, demonstrating against slow reform, lack of civil liberties and official corruption. This is how I reported it at the time. Something has snapped in China, unleashing a force for change that could be impossible to stop. Crowds like this have never been seen before. Tens of thousands left their work today, streaming towards Tiananmen Square in support of the hunger strikers, bringing central Beijing to a virtual standstill. Every strata of society marching in a massive show of disaffection. This movement may prove as important as the Cultural Revolution in the development of modern China. But while that brought repression, this is all about emancipation. They're already calling it the spiritual liberation of China. But the only thing that snapped was the patience of the party leaders, sending tanks and troops to crush this peaceful movement with a ferocity that shocked the world. Hundreds were killed in the Tiananmen Massacre, thousands jailed, among them Xiao Jiang, now an exile in London.
Many friends were beaten. Some of my friends were killed in Chang'an Street and nearby Tiananmen Square. After crackdown, the June 4th, and government arrested a lot of people. Almost every my friend was put into the jail.
So how much have things changed since then? There's no doubt the lives of millions of Chinese have been improved by the booming economy and greater freedoms.
The change in the standard of living in China is phenomenal. It's breathtaking. To have brought 400 million people out of poverty is an achievement that's unmatched in history, and they have achieved that in a very, very brief space of time. And one of the reasons they've done that is because they cannot afford another Tiananmen Square that could undermine the credibility and the rule of the Communist Party.
And there's certainly no sign of political change. Human rights activists accuse the party of using the Olympics to strengthen its grip on power.
I think Chinese people are honored to have Olympic. However, the communist regime used this opportunity, honored opportunity, to polish the image of Communist Party, and they persecuted people. They have already taken away Olympic spirit.
China has the most internet users anywhere, but the web here is heavily censored, including on and off the BBC site. I wondered what popular search engines would reveal about the biggest ever challenge to Communist Party rule.
Simple test. Can we find out about the Tiananmen Square massacre, which took place on June the 4th, 1989, on the internet in China? Tell me what you've got here.
No, it's about Tiananmen, it's about tank, it's about parade.
So it's about tanks going on Tiananmen Square, but nothing about the massacre?
No, it's about parade.
But we'd heard of one local man who was there at Tiananmen Square.
So let's look up Fang Zhang, because he was there that day.
Okay, now we have Wei Fangzhen here.
What's it say?
It says here that Fangzhen graduated from Beijing Sports Academy in the year 1989, but soon after graduation he lost his legs in a traffic accident.
A traffic accident? He lost his legs in a traffic accident.
We arranged to meet Fang Zhang. Under new regulations, foreign journalists based in China don't normally have government minders. But as visiting media following the torch, we get an official to make sure that our filming goes smoothly.
Hi, this is Yang. Hi.
Yang will prove to be an indicator of how the Communist Party interpret the Olympic promise of openness.
As far as the official media is concerned, in one of the Chinese newspapers, and it said that you lost your legs in a traffic accident. Is that true?
No, that is not the case. It was not a traffic accident. The truth is that on June the 4th, when I was withdrawing from Tiananmen Square, I was chased from behind by a tank, and both of my legs were crushed.
That day, thousands were peacefully protesting for democracy. Then came the tanks. Hundreds died. Exactly how many? Nobody knows.
When the tank crushed me, my trousers were caught in the tank tracks. I couldn't get away and was dragged for a short distance. At that moment, I was still conscious, and I could see parts of my legs gone. I could see the white bones of my legs.
John, excuse me?
Yeah.
Can we just take a pause for a little bit?
It looks like we've touched a raw nerve with our minder.
I have to mention that this is a little bit something related to some sensitive issue in the history of China. So my suggestion is that it would be great if we can skip this. I mean, it's okay.
Okay. Let's
I hope you understand.
We understand. Okay, right. Okay.
The Tiananmen Square massacre was seen as instrumental in China failing to win the Olympics in 2000. 8 years on, it remains taboo. Fang became a para-athlete, winning gold in discus and javelin, and on target to compete in the Asian Para Games. Then the subject of how, exactly, he lost his legs came up.
They asked me to promise not to mention the June the 4th incident. I was told to avoid the subject. Suddenly, I was informed I was disqualified.
Fang's Olympic dream was over. He won't be at the parade when the torch comes to town.
Fang Zhang's a great athlete, and he should be here because he symbolises the Olympic spirit of triumphing over adversity and of being a great sportsman. But he's not here.
One world, one dream is the slogan of these Olympics, but perhaps for the Chinese state it is above all else one huge test, a test of just how far they have come in the 19 years since blood was spilt on this square, how far they've come in dealing with the human rights of their own people, in the eyes of China and above all else in the eyes of the rest of the world.